opens up a lot of options for them for later on.
But he's working his way back, already knocking on the door of the top 10, despite the fact he made that pit stop into Bobby Labonte, and they're out of shape on the back straightaway. That's Jeff Burton in the 43 sliding through the grass. Second caution of the afternoon, and Bobby Labonte also gets turned around.
And that was just a chain effect. You could see those cars start to check up there, and then as it got 4 or 5 cars further back, they started spinning out just from the, the force of the car. So, yeah, I'd like to see how that started. Here with the 2 car, looks like he's backing up trying to get a run so he can stack that lineup. And as it got 5 or 6 cars back and that gap closed that you were talking about, the rear ending started getting harder from the cars that had the biggest gap.
And you kids at home, that's why you're not supposed to tailgate.
That's right.
It doesn't work well. And these guys just had the gap close up on them. They couldn't see through the cars ahead of them. And you can see right there, bam, bam, bam.
Watch Chase Elliott. All of this happens. He drives through it. Had made a pit stop earlier, stays out here, and now the 88 is in the race lead.
Well, and that comes back
where to go.
You can see Ware high on the racetrack, just coming into the screen.
You saw it shot up right there. He got loose behind those cars, got up into marbles, and just lost it.
Now, he does his job. He's got his brakes on, and coming to a stop, the car's going to naturally slide down the bank a bit, and Bubba's trying to tuck to the bottom. Man.
You could tell they're just committed on that outside line. You're wide open. I mean, clear past, even before the apex of the corner, you're wide open. And you could just see they just couldn't react fast enough. Tons of damage to both of those race cars.
Huge damage for the 6 and the 42 of Justin Marks, the other one involved.
And we heard Bubba.
He's close to you. You're doing a lot of work with him right now.
And I cannot thank FS1 and everybody enough for the donation. And we got a crash up there.
Coming at you below.
Jeff Burton around.
Still coming at you. Easy, right there.
Blake Cook had really battled back after fluke conditions here yesterday.
Started to slip and slide during this run.
Tire trouble there, it looks like, for the 43.
Oh,
and just nowhere to go.
And Carl, you can't cut that thing to the left. You're committed to the high side. There just was no way for Cook to make his way under Jeff.
It's kind of a D-cell area, too. There's just nothing you can do. I mean, that's and when the 43 car hit the wall, it really slows him down a lot.
Look at the job Ross Chastain does just to barely slip by. Blake Cook not so fortunate.
They were racing for 17th on track when the incident happened. Earnhardt Jr. restarting third has dominated this race. Here we go.
There goes Junior. Right to the bottom. This is what he has to do.
Allgaier sideways off the corner. Can he save it? Contact with Jones. Second caution of the day. Wow.
What just happened?
I think Poole tried to shoot down in the corner on those older tires and made contact.
Three of our 4 drivers involved in the dash for cash,
including
caught up in that.
The guy that was just sitting there counting laps off, trying to make it to the finish, Justin Allgaier. Dale Jr. gets to the bottom of the racetrack on Poole.
Yep, Poole goes to, I think goes to protect it a little bit. Junior kind of gets into the left rear. I guess Poole got into the 7 there as well.
Yeah. It looked like Poole just couldn't turn when he got to the corner. Check him out when he gets down into turn 1. Junior does his job, gets to the bottom. And then Poole runs up into the side of Allgaier.
Yeah, Allgaier just didn't get the best restart that I thought he was going to have and be able to clear the 48 car of Brendan Poole. And it just looks like there wasn't enough room for all 3 of them. They were 3 wide, actually.
Well, he drove. Those Joe Gibbs cars.
Tiff hit a ton right there.
Ty Dillon.
On board with Justin Allgaier.
Inside.
He did a heck of a job trying to save that thing.
He did all he could do.
Actually sound, and they have repaired it with
Oh my goodness. The 25 hit hard. That's Chris Cochran.
Gosh, that's a hard hit.
Scary, scary moment coming off of turn 2. Appeared to be the 52 of Joey Gase. Also got a piece of it.
I can almost tell you, yeah, the 0 turns right into the 25. The Joey Gase is just an innocent bystander here.
Oh, he just barely clipped that wall that jets out there, and that sent that car spinning like a top. Look at all the debris scattering. Smithley was just trying to help, and I think it pushed the 25 out a little bit. And when he tried to tuck back in line, it spun him around.
That's something as a driver you really got to be careful of. Coming off the corners here where the banking falls away, the back of these cars get really, really light. So if you're, I mean, sometimes you don't even have to touch the driver in front of you, but if there's any contact at all, you're going to see a result like we just saw.
Such a tough break for Joey Gase. Remember last year, Michael, top 5 here at Talladega. High hopes for him today.
Jimmy Means Racing does such a great job and gives Joey Gase a chance to go out there and prove his talent. And he just was riding along. Nothing he could do about that. Winds up
right there.
This will really show it.
Watch this 3,400-pound race car. Just pitched around.
See what it did to that right front tire? About ripped it off.
That's a testament to NASCAR for their safety that he was able to get out of that car like he did. He's going to be sore tomorrow, but at least Elliott Sadler get back on the road and not lose any ground. He's going to have a chance to win this race.
If he pulls high.
Joey Logano gets turned. Elliott Sadler drives through. They're crashing big time at the line. Brennan Poole, first career win at Talladega.
How about that for Brennan Poole? And a big hit from Blake.
Huge crash. Joey Logano with damage. The same for Blake Cook. Wow.
Oh, what a finish.
The 22 just went to block the 1 a little too much, lost control. What a great win for Brennan Poole.
26 1,000ths of a second.
Watch this move Elliott Sadler makes. He does everything perfectly. He goes high, he fakes high. That's where Logano goes. He loses control of his car.
Yeah, you cannot blame that on Elliott Sadler. No doubt. He went to go high, the 22 blocked, so he changed it, and he says, all right, I'm going to go low. And it just pulled the air off the 22 right there. The 22 wrecked.
Third first-time winner we've had in the history of Talladega Superspeedway in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
What a great job by Elliott Sadler. Crashed on the back straightaway, but yet vying for the win on the front. Just gets pushed low and can't keep his momentum up to win the race.
How about Jeremy Clements with a third-place finish? Great run for that team.
And Justin Allgaier, so close to victory last week at Richmond, and then again this Saturday afternoon in Alabama. Such a shame for Blake Cook. He just was in a position there was nowhere for him to go.
See Allgaier, it looked like he was just dirt tracking it, sliding up the racetrack into Poole.
Push drafting going on. When you were up front, you were so vulnerable to being pushed around by the person behind you, and that's exactly what happened.
Watch Elliott. A great move to the outside. We're going to block you there. I got to go low. Elliott Sadler did everything he had to do to win this race. So please, can I just have it? I know I won this race. Let's see what the video shows here.
What would you anticipate they're looking at? Because I never saw the caution lights come on, and the only thing I can think of is that NASCAR would have deemed the caution lights came on before they got to the start-finish line, and Poole was not leading at the time of caution.
That's possible.
But I didn't see.
It looked like he got a little high on the racetrack, and it snapped on him here, Michael.
Oh, sideways. Watch it hit that inside wall so hard.
Looked a little bit like Jeb Burton yesterday in practice.
Thank goodness we have safer barriers down there. You just can't appreciate how hard a hit that is.
And there's no safer barrier there after he tangles with that outside wall. That's hard.
He hit the inside wall a lot faster and at worse of an angle.
Break the draft off the guys from behind, but he's lost a lot of ground.
Oh, Jones sliding sideways into the wall on turn 4.
Up there.
Oh, it's
There's a bit behind you. Oil on the track. Let me see.
Damage for Sadler as well.
Right-sided. Split the...
Elliott Sadler with nowhere to go.
Let's go on board with Ryan Blaney, see what kind of view he had.
One of the walls there. Stay low. Stay low. Keep coming. Everything's good. Check up. Check up, stay low, watch it, check up, come on. All right, just check up, you gotta slow your speed down here. We'll get our front back, just maintain your speed.
Track than the 42 of Kyle Larson. Chris, it looks like, oh, we got a crash.
He was struggling on that restart too.
Just trying to get back going here.
Oh, someone hit him in the door.
Get two down here. Just try to get it back going, they're all outside of you here.
He
Jeremy.
fell back to 13th, it looked like, I think, before that yellow there. So he must have been struggling with some handling issues.
Jeremy Clemens hard contact into Reed after he had spun.
That's Reed, red, white, 16. Racing outside of Gone, just went wide on him into the wall.
You know, you can get sucked up in turn one pretty easily. I think that's why it makes turn one a good place to pass, is because there's not a lot of grip outside of the line. So it looked like he just got up into the gray.
Reed 13th when he lost.
Went from bad to worse.
Certainly did. Loose on entry, gets into the outside wall. And I'm sure Clemens thought he was going to be able to hold it up there, and when he couldn't, trying to cut to the bottom, Clemens gets loose and they make hard contact.
I always feel like when there's accidents in these stock cars, it's like footballs. You're just not really sure where they're going to go.
Tough day for Reed. He'd gotten into Ryan Sieg earlier in the race and then had his car.
His teammate, Dakota Armstrong, in the 28, and just drives right up into the left rear of Drew Herring and spins him out. So this ought to be an interesting competition meeting early part of the week.
Makes you wonder if anything happened prior to that, because it looked pretty obvious that he just got spun around.
Brendan Gaughan was the first car one lap down. He'll get the free pass, put him back on the lead lap. 16 cars on the lead lap for last 30 laps or so, and here we are. Darrell Wallace Jr.
Sometimes that results in what we just saw. This contact from the 25 car looked like to me.
Well, we talked about a little bit earlier how tough the tri-oval can be, and that started in the tri-oval. It looked like the 25 either thought he was clear or the car got tight and pushed up. For some reason, it started to change lanes, got into the quarter panel of the other car, causing the accident.
Yeah, the 25 of Scott Lagasse Jr. around he went.
That's a big hit right there. Ray Black Jr. in that white, blue, red car, those 7. When you're up against the wall and somebody comes into the side of you and hits you like that, that is a big impact. It doesn't look as dramatic as, say, Kyle Busch.
Race to a guaranteed yellow flag where we have one 6 laps from now, Rick, so they're going to jockey very aggressively for position before the competition yellow.
And Elliott's out.
Oh, the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. is going to go around. He catches the 48. The big one happens in front. 2 of Austin Dillon is collected. 3 of Ty Dillon gets through.
Definitely left front damage.
Brennan Poole involved in the 48. You see the 19 parked. Daniel Suarez. A win already this season. Austin Dillon, last year's winner in the Xfinity Series race on this 4th of July weekend. Nemechek, Justin Marks. Take a look at what happens.
It all starts right here with Darrell Wallace Jr. and Brendan Poole. You see trying to help the 48, trying to help the 6, but as the 6 moves left to right with contact with the bumper, it spins it out. Heavy contact between the 42 and the 2. The 2 gets airborne, but safely comes back on the tires.
And that is why NASCAR does not want these guys locking bumpers. It's why they don't want pushing. And again, it creates this rule that they have to enforce, which is very difficult, but this is why they have that rule. Brendan Poole gets into the back of the 6, trying to help the 6. Didn't get his front bumper lined up to the 6 like he needed to. Got the 6 going in the wrong direction. This works well when done properly, but when not done properly, this is the result.
Eric Jones in the 20, also involved. The only driver with a win this season in the Xfinity Series regular that wasn't involved was Elliott Sadler, and that's because he was out front. That was the contact Eric Jones felt.
Hold it.
That noise, that sound, that impact, that's why I'm sitting up here. Just, you know, you can expect coming to Daytona you're going to be in a wreck. You just expect it.
Eric Jones. Go around, and then the contact there.
We just got caught in the right rear. We made it through it, but then we got clipped in the right rear. Going to come to you with the right side damage, guys.
Daniel Suarez is almost completely clear. But you see right here, there's a gap between the 6 and the 48. As that gap starts to close, the 48 hits him once, everything's fine. And then he hits him a second time closer to the right rear corner, and you see that starts to move the tail of the 6 from left to right. Darrell Wallace Jr. does the best he can to regain control, but at these speeds, he loses control, gets into the 20, and then you start to see just back and forth. You see the 19 and Daniel Suarez as it leaves the screen, almost has it collected. The 2, great to see that car come back onto the ground. We saw cars go airborne in Talladega. That car could have easily went up into the air and flipped over. The roof flaps open, the cowl flaps open, set the 2 back on the ground.
And the problem started with where Brendan Poole was trying to bump draft. You're still in the corner. You're still turning the wheel.
Ty Dillon getting a little bit of a shove there. Oh, and another one around is going to hit the inside wall. That is the 19 of Daniel Suarez. Big damage to the front end of Daniel Suarez. He's going to put the window net down. This is one he can't drive back to the pit road or the garage. Let's take another look.
Just looks like might be contact between the 2 cars. It looks at this point that the tires are still up until they lock up. We can't see the left front. You see the right front below there as it slides across the pavement. But right here, you're going to see a great shot of the impact. Watch the soft wall. Watch how much it deforms as that 19 hits it. You're going to see how it absorbs the energy right here. Big hit, great wary hit. You know, a few farther feet down, that wall turns back out to allow the safety vehicles come in and out. Luckily, he hit where he did, but it was great to see him drop the window, as you mentioned, Joe.
Yeah, I don't like that wall where it turns out like that. I wish the wall could continue straight. They move the inside wall, but you see right here, he got up the racetrack. I don't know if he had a problem prior to that. Obviously, he either had a tire going down or a handling issue. He got up the racetrack, got into the side of the car beside him, and that got him going in this direction. Big impact.
Yeah.
Again, you know, thank you to Daytona International Speedway for putting these safer barriers up all the way around the racetrack. Again, you cannot control where these cars are going to hit. They will find places in walls. It will find places to hit. Have to have those barriers. Right here.
Outside.
He gets up the racetrack, got a little bit loose, had to chase up the racetrack, made a little bit of contact. That started this whole incident.
You see him bring his giving a shove to Eric Almirola, and into the wall goes David. David Reagan slamming into the wall.
Behind you, no caution yet. Outside.
Darrell Wallace Jr. quick across the inside wall. The caution has not come out. The race is still on. Justin Allgaier on the high side. Eric Almirola on the bottom of the racetrack. Coming at a turn 4. And the caution will come out. David Reagan hard into the wall. And quite a few cars caught up after the fact.
Well, that's a big impact. Now I understand why NASCAR wanted to roll safety personnel. That's a big impact. Car essentially went underneath another car, another impact from behind. So, you know, again, listen, I know race fans want these things to end under green, but you can't fault NASCAR in this situation. No. That's heavy impact for 2 cars right there, and it only gets worse as this wreck continues.
Blake Cook and the 11 involved. David Reagan bouncing around like a pinball. 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. shooting across the track through the infield. Joey Gason, the 52.
This impact right here with the 11, the outside wall.
And then another impact right there.
Yeah, I just, again, we wanted to end at the start-finish line, no doubt. But they wanted to roll safety personnel. There were a lot of hard impacts on the back straightaway. They tried to give it a shot. They tried to go.
A little wiggle right there out of the 88, and the 3 is going to try to take advantage.
And the 88 gave the 3 a lot of room. He got it.
Oh, and around goes the 3. The 88 of Alex Bowman got into the right rear corner panel.
All right, stay out here. Let's look at it.
3 goes into the wall, nose first.
I'm not sure if the 3 thought he was clear and came all the way up and the 88 was still there, or if the 88 came across the bumper of the 3. Here's a great head-on shot. The 88's heading to the wall. You know, he has the ability to run that lane, but now you see why the 3 is disappointed. The 88 does come back off from the wall. The 3 thought he left the 88 a lane to his outside. He did, but you heard Alex Bowman, he didn't mean to turn left. The car was tight, which means it wants to go straight. He puts extra wheel in it, trying to get it to turn. And you said he was out of the gas, Jeff, in that one replay. Maybe he breathed the throttle. The front tires gained some grip. The car took a hard left-hand turn. So without a doubt, not saying he meant to on purpose, but that accident is the fault of the 88. Another great view. You see the 88 cut off the wall, turn left, and catch the right rear corner of the 3. It's not what Kyle Busch wanted to see. Now the car with 4 fresh tires is right on his rear bumper.
They were 3 wide behind him, fighting for that 3rd spot. And around goes the 6. Darrell Wallace Jr. spins as they go through 1 and 2. Contact made behind him. Car sliding to try to avoid. Not able to do it. Also involved, you see the 4 of Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain just outside of the top 12.
Wallace Jr. just past start-finish line. Everybody's going for position. That's what you have to do. You have to be aggressive. 3 wide in front of them. Darrell makes a move to make it 3 wide. Not enough room for all 3 cars in that small spot. Everybody's trying to protect and hold their position. It's late in the race. Positions matter.
Ryan Preece also. I heard him say bad. Right front. Looks like of the 1. So a little bit of contact. It's Darrell Wallace Jr. the most. Ryan Preece also involved, as well as Ross Chastain. Laps winding down in Loudon. Has a pretty good gap over Kyle Larson. Even on the pressure tires, and around goes the 07. He the 13 into the wall. Caution will come out again. Ray Black Jr. in the 07 and the 13 of Harrison Rhodes.
Come on, buddy.
Out of turn 2.
It all started on the entrance to turn 2. Contact right there.
Ray Black Jr. hit the 4.
Yeah, now he's just long for the ride. 13 comes in and T-bones him.
Right in the driver's door. That's never an area you want to see another car get hit. NASCAR's done a lot of work in that area over the years. They've added some steel plate to try to prevent intrusions into the cockpit, some energy absorbent foam, a lot of safety additions to this car.
You can tell how hard of a hit. Lifted the 07 right up off the ground.
And that interior wall has a safer barrier on it. So although it wasn't a heavy contact in the interior wall, it still has a safer barrier.
And that proves
much less.
Well, you have to have safer barrier anywhere. 1.
NASCAR's taking a look at that restart, making sure everyone was in line when they came to the start-finish line.
See Brendan Gaughan, the black and yellow car, missed the top of the S's.
Oh, and around goes. Big accident. The 14 involved. Looks like Kyle Busch might have been at the front end of that. Tommy Dreese in the 14.
And this is so fast and so narrow, Rick. This is what happens. There's just no room. You see big damage on the 18 of Kyle Busch. He's going to go behind the wall. He's had enough. His day's done. The 11, big chase implications in the 11.
Now look at this. All of that took place, but the 90 got into the wall, bounced back out onto the racetrack.
Oh, and the 18 had it completely stopped until the 11 comes spinning back across the racetrack and made big contact with the left rear of the 18.
Red flag is out. We look once again. So much damage to so many cars. Again, so tight in that area. It's right along with the 11.
Look to your left. Look to your left. Clear. Back it right here. Back it down. Back it down. Back it down. Back it down. Back it down.
Another look as they go up through the S's. Again, the 90 sideways there and then pointed back the other direction.
To a Menard barely gets by to driver's left. Look how fast these cars are coming right here at real speed.
It's just so hard to tell what started all this.
There was damage to the back of the 90. Not sure if that happened prior to him getting right and into the wall or after the fact.
I don't know, you saw him loose getting up the hill, and I don't know when he got loose. He
stopped as Derek Cope.
I mean, you don't see any flames. You know, if it was some sort of a fuel explosion, you'd see some sort of flames, I would think. So
just blew the hood right off.
Marty.
Top 5 running position.
Green flag is back out. Justin Marks back to the lead. And to second place, Ryan Blaney in the 22. Oh, Lally gets contact from Eric Jones. Lally spins, Jones spins, and now into the 98. That is the 98 of Nelson Piquet Jr. Further contact in that group. Piquet, the front of that car is crunched. Forget at this point. Out of turn 1.
Yeah, certainly been the trouble spot on these restarts here.
Coming to the green there. Here's the spot.
Yeah, now they're able to get up to a little bit more speed, but they still just don't have the grip. And you can see Eric Jones there. Just kind of slid out, got into the 90 of Andy Lally.
Piquet looking for a way by, collects Jones.
Nowhere to go, really, in that type. And with all of Sam's adventures that we chronicled, he's back inside the top 10 now.
Got a couple of cars in.
You feel the hits that Jones took. See Dakota Armstrong escaping through there in the green and white car. Pow, right there. And Brendan Gaughan.
It all starts with the 70. He gets up in the middle of the corner, way off the pace. The 16 of Ryan Reed has nowhere to go. Tries to turn a hard left. He just can't do it in that amount of time. And the 2 does a great job of somehow getting by it, but the 88 of Regan Smith's just nowhere to go. We've talked about how quickly accidents come up on you here, and he slides in. So on board here, we're going to see how quick the 70.
I think the 70 had a left front down. He made contact. Was that Kyle Busch he had contact with?
Possibly.
He had contact getting in the core track position. He went from battling for the lead. Now he's all the way back in 10th.
Sideways go Daniel Suarez. Eric Jones gets caught up in it. Caution comes out. Such a good car, and that is what happens when you have a problem on pit road and you lose the positions that you were running in.
So the teammates, the 20 just Jones basically, I'm sure it wasn't on purpose, but just misjudged the corner entry, got into the left rear quarter panel of the 19 behind the tire, turns the 19 around, and they all start spinning and crashing from there.
It was a battle for 9th.
You can see right here the 19 starts to turn a little earlier than I think Eric thought he was going to turn. They made contact, as you said. It certainly wasn't on purpose. That's just, when people race hard, things are going to happen from time to time. And I think the 19 turned a little earlier than Eric was expecting. Eric was still going straight. Watch right here. That pretty much tells the tale.
That's it. I think he expected the 19 to run right around the top. The 19 looks like he was turning in either the middle or to the bottom. The 20 gets in his quarter panel. How about the 51 right here, Jeremy Clements? He has the big slide behind these 2 cars, gets on the brakes good enough to get through this. That's a big move for the 51. He's
a little momentum.
Again, to the bottom of the racetrack. Under 5 laps to go. Kyle Busch hooks the left side. He takes the lead there into the wall. Kyle Busch into the wall. All the way up to the wall, and the caution comes out. He collects the 3 of Ty Dillon. Kyle Busch thinking he had the 22 cleared.
Gets inside him, gets the power down, tries to clear the 22 off the corner. The 22 has to contend that. He has to try to take that momentum back to the outside. And the 18 has to try to close the door. In my mind, that is purely a Bristol racing incident. I think both drivers are doing what they had to do to win.
Up the track, the 18 comes. 22 was there. And into the wall goes the 18 of Kyle Busch. A lot of damage to the right front, though, of the 22 and the left front.
You can see this overhead. 18 has a big run.
22 is not there by much.
If you're a Kyle Busch fan, you say it was the 18. It was not Kyle Busch's fault. You say it was Keselowski's fault.
Inside.
You're absolutely right.
Just
because I put myself in both of those positions.
That's racing, man.
And if I'm on the 22's crew, then I am proud of my driver for trying to carry that momentum off the top. And if I am on the Kyle Busch crew, I'm proud of my driver trying to close the door. 4 laps to go at the world's fastest half mile. They're going to be
happen between Ty and the 88 of Kenny Habul, and maybe the 48 of Brendan Poole. That was pretty tight through there.
Yeah, trying to make it 3 wide through there is not going to work very few, if any times.
Clear right.
I don't don't know. I'm going to put more of that on Kenny there. He was
perhaps the most difficult. You see Kyle Larson, just not turned quick enough, carrying way too much seed. This pit road apron is very, very dirty, has a lot of sand on it, and if you get in there too hot, you just miss it. So 2 years in a row, he's missed pit road. Get onto the apron much sooner.
And that was after Ross Chastain in the 4 got into the back of the 13 of Carl Long. Also, Ryan Blaney in the 22 is sliding.
It looked to me like the 22 is trying to get on pit road perhaps as well, and as he started to spin, the 13 checks up and the 4 doesn't see him, makes heavy contact.
Listen, the 22 has that pit road, but it's just a difficult pit road. You see Ryan Blaney
trying to get to pit road.
Yeah,
he got help.
Yeah, he was way slow getting on pit road. The guys behind him did not know he was getting on pit road, and they ran into the...
Oh, spin behind. There's trouble in turn 2. And out of control, the 52 of Joey Gase.
15 of Blake Jones is involved in this.
And that happened behind all the action that was going on with the lead group. That's already happened down to the inside, I think, is the 07 of Black.
Yeah, it could have possibly been contact there between the 07 and the 52.
Again, behind this group, we catch it late.
And it looked like Jones had nowhere to...
They're side by side off the corner. Through the speed drive and trouble. Marks is around again in the 42. Brandon Jones, chaser, is involved. A couple of cars going to pit road, evasive action. But this is big for the 19-year-old from Atlanta. Brandon Jones with big trouble on that 33. Look to the right of the screen.
See if there's contact maybe. Yeah, there was some contact, I believe, there from the 88 of Josh Berry. So I don't think it had anything to do with the speedy drive, other than maybe if Josh Berry got to his right front end there and couldn't get turned and looked like he got into the left rear of Justin Martin.
Let's look at it from Ryan Reed's perspective. And Reed dives down low and misses the action.
It's not going to work.
Whoa, around goes Hornish.
Hang on to it, Sam. Hang on to it.
And Justin Allgaier gets into him off the corner. Chase contender Allgaier in trouble.
Oh, Suarez got loose down on the inside and got up into the left rear of Sam Hornish. That's why he was turned sideways there. And you see Justin Allgaier right here. You've got a split second as a driver to make that decision as to where you can go and how you can try to avoid this car. And just not enough time to do that. You're traveling at such a high rate of speed. You can see there were 3 wide there. They pared down to 2 wide, but it's not like you can just slam on the brakes on these cars running 150 miles an hour and get them to go where you want. He couldn't get back to it. Blaney able to take the lead. Oh, here goes Jones.
Jones is around. He takes Dillon up to the wall. Caution out again, and 2 strong Chase contenders have crashed.
Well, you just said it, Dave, about that picture that we were seeing with the points, how things might change.
And for Jones, another day at Kentucky gone down the tank. And here's where it gets interesting.
Yeah, and Eric Jones was just loose from the very beginning, getting down into that corner. Ty Dillon didn't do anything to really force that. It was just a matter that Jones got loose on the entry there. Looked like he tried to keep it out kind of wide, and the car just never took a set at that point in time. And unfortunately, Ty Dillon was there to be in the way and get taken out.
We talked about it before. These drivers have so much faith in those race cars at these speeds, and sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, and you could just see as he tried to turn that car down to the bottom, get it down to that yellow line like he'd been able to do all night. There just wasn't any grip in the back.
Happens here. Daniel Suarez in the 19 coming up on the 42.
19 was trying to go to the bottom, and Marks was going to the bottom, and 19 just needed to check up just a little bit and give him some room, and then he got the car overcorrected and hard impacted the wall.
Huge impact.
Yeah, it is. You see how easy it is when that car starts to spin. You want to turn the wheel to the right to keep it from spinning, but if you turn too much wheel to the right, it hangs a right and it makes heavy head-on contact.
That shot straight up the racetrack after he overcorrected, and Justin Marks hard contact. Take another look. 3,400 pounds of race car off the ground after slamming into the wall. Meeting going as they enter turn number 1. Splitting the lap down cars, and around goes behind him Justin Allgaier in the 7 involved, as is Darrell Wallace Jr., both Chase drivers.
I think Ryan Reed was also in that wreck.
Cole Custer is involved in it as well.
So potentially 3 of our Chase contenders are in one wreck.
A lot of damage to the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr., as well as the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Let's take a look at the 16, see if there's damage.
There is. 16. It's not as significant as the damage on the other cars, but there is damage.
Things get crazy after restarts, and this was one of those 4 wide situations that was about to build.
I think Brandon Jones just misjudged the entry speed of the 7 car, trying to make a little bit of a move on the bottom, and got into the back of him and got the 7 turned around, and then really nothing these guys could do.
Ryan Reed may have got away unscathed as he dove down inside the 7 and 6. But we know that Ryan Sieg involved, Cole Custer, Justin Allgaier, Darrell Wallace Jr. Take a look at the 16. He dives down to the apron.
Yeah, I think he just barely touched the right front fender. We saw damage on the right side, so I think he barely touched the left front fender of the 7 car.
Into the wall hard, the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. And they pile up behind him.
Big impact. We could hear that in the booth.
He's got the 11 up in front of him. On the radio, we heard him say, "Tell the 11 thanks," and 11 came down on him.
Yeah, I mean, the 11 takes a left to try to pass the 22. I'm sure he didn't mean to hit the 6, but simply he's a hard shot.
Yeah, it's pretty clear right there. The Blake Cook had a run off the turn 4 and didn't check his mirror, didn't know he was there, and just turned left. And Darrell Wallace did nothing wrong whatsoever. So disappointing night too. They ran really well.
They did, and Jeff, but we talked about this. Where the spotters are located here, these cars are coming directly at them. So I'm not sure if there's a depth perception issue. Like, coming at them, the spotter knows the 6 is inside the 11 as far as right to left, but where front to back? Like, just because he's a lane below doesn't mean he's to the rear bumper. So you have to ask yourself, what information did the 11 have? Obviously, he thought he was clear or thought that the 6 could move.
So let's listen in to the 11 radio.
Behind the 22, didn't know the 6 was there. Tell them that. Simple.
Running 4th. 3 of the 4 championship Ford drivers up front, and we've got a problem with Ryan Reed. He's got a tire down.
Ryan Reed got in the wall in the middle of 3 and 4.
And around he's going to go. And a big hit behind him. The 46 and 51 make contact. Jordan Anderson in the 46. Fire under the hood now.
Yeah, so that was on the front stretch, and then this here was the 16 car on the back stretch trying to get back around to get to pit road, loses control because of that flat tire. Behind him, some heavy contact, Rick.
Yeah, the 46 of Jordan Anderson didn't look like he saw the 51 slowing down and got underneath the 51, lifted him off the ground. We saw the 51 get up in the air. And then the flames from underneath the hood.
Most likely that's fuel that was going to the carburetor and just burning that fuel off. Still probably still pumping fuel to the carburetor and just feeding the fire. Ultimately, the engine shuts off and doesn't feed the fire anymore.
It took a while for Jordan Anderson to climb out of that car, but once he did, safety crews to him immediately as they were able to put the fire out. But take a look at this. 51 off the ground. Jordan Anderson wasn't expecting Jeremy Clements to check up as much, apparently, as he was trying to find a line to get by him.